All right. Hey, just obviously, today's always a difficult day as you start to begin to make roster decisions, and so I won't comment too much on guys. A lot of things are fluid in the next 24 hours until we kind of select the practice squad and get all that done tomorrow. But obviously, we appreciate everyone that's been with us, and we had tough decisions to make, but we did the decisions we thought were in the best interest of the Panthers. So
Do you think you'll start the season with three quarterbacks or two?
I don't think we'll be at three quarterbacks. There's a possibility we could be, but I think we'll go in with two this year.
And PJ will be number two.
I just said I'm not going to talk too much about it. He would be as of right now today, but we don't. I'm not going to talk too much about the roster in terms of certain guys until tomorrow. So.
Can you talk about Fletcher going on IR and what happened with his hip?
Yeah, got went in, has some hip. I don't know what the technical diagnosis is, impingement or something in his hip. So I guess he battled through it, but just couldn't function at the level he thought he needed to. So, or felt comfortable at. So, he's begun the rehab process, and hopefully he'll get healthy soon.
Where did that happen?
I don't know if it was when he got run over in the Ravens game or after that. I'm not real sure in terms
What
of
did
exactly.
you call him? Sorry, couldn't.
I said some sort of a hip impingement or something. I'm not the doctor, so I don't know. Just something in his hip.
Now, as you all go through the process, things like that,
Yeah, I think Scott's doing a great job. Those guys are they're looking at our guys, looking to look at the other guys that are on other teams, for practice squad and for the active roster. So, obviously we have a 53-man we did today, but as I said, some of those things are fluid. We'll have to see where we end up tomorrow.
I know you can't talk specifics, but how different is this process this year with all the factors that you had last year coming in? How different is this process this year?
It's night and day. We have a lot more tape on guys. We have preseason games on guys. We have preseason games on other guys. So we have a chance to see, who might fit us and who might not as we make all these decisions.
Justin Burris wasn't out here today. Anything can you comment on
Yeah,
that?
he just had a hip he's been dealing with through camp, so we just got an injection just and gave him a day just to. He did something with the doctor, so he gave him a day just to get ready, and should be out here tomorrow.
And then Shy.
Yeah, Shy, we're hoping 2 to 3 weeks. So I just what I've learned is timetables are never great, right? They always can go either way, but I think they gave him a timetable like 2 to 3 weeks.
He's not an IR candidate.
He's not on IR right now as of now.
Justin had his red jersey on. He was here at practice today.
Yeah.
Red jersey.
The decision to go PJ over Will, could you discuss that?
I won't say anything about Will, obviously, but I mean PJ. I think Joe and Sean felt like he's moved the team. He's knows the offense, makes the checks, makes off schedule plays, pushes the ball down the field, can be explosive, and so far this preseason has taken care of the football, which is the number one thing he had to work on. So, you asked earlier about in terms of who's going to be what number we're going to go with. I mean, so many things could change over the next day, to be quite honest with you. That's why I'm hesitant to say someone is this. But in terms of if we played today, he would be our number 2 quarterback, and just those are the reasons why.
And generally speaking, I appreciate that, Matt, but would there be a benefit where Sam is in his development to have an older guy with him as opposed to PJ?
I think if you find the right older guy, there's always benefit with those guys. So we have lots of flexibility. We can add a third quarterback. We can put a quarterback on the practice roster. But sometimes it has to be the right guy. At any position. So sometimes a young guy can really push you. Sometimes an older guy. But all very valid thought. But because of they kept the same rules as last year, so we have standard elevations from the practice squad. We have a lot of ability, that they've kept that's changed really high. I think you look at the roster moving forward. So.
How was your evaluation of the kicking game evaluated, or how has it moved since we spoke to you on Saturday?
Yeah, we traded for Ryan as a conditional pick. He has to be on the roster for so many games for the pick to count. For the trade to count. So it's just a chance for us to watch him, and he obviously did a great job the other night. He's done a good job today in practice. So I'm always hesitant to say this is what someone is until it's time. So he's getting an opportunity to practice with us, and by everything I've seen so far, though, I'm really pleased, and I think Ryan's going to do a really good job for us.
Speaking of the trades, can you talk about the decision to get Daryl Johnson?
Yeah, Dan Morgan had, I think, history coming from Buffalo, being with Daryl. I think the question, kind of as we went through, we watched the tape, saw him in the preseason with Dan's history with him was sort of what, hey, would we love to have this guy in the 6th round? And it was, yes, we would love to have this guy in the 6th round. So made the move, add depth. We like our defensive end group. Morgan, Yetur, Brian, and Marquise have all been really good players for us. We think they're all coming on strong, but this is a really big young man, and so just the chance for him to develop, maybe he develops into a big end or a pass rusher or a 3 technique. We don't know. So, but he's got a lot of upside. So, we made the move.
Do a couple more.
Matt, I think 17 of your 18 picks from the last 2 years are still here, as opposed to kind of an empty 2019 draft which preceded you. What does that say about where things are in the last 2 draft classes?
I think you look history. I've done some studies on this. Like you look at later round picks don't always stay with teams. And I think at the end of the day, if as a general manager Scott, I think as a head coach, I think you have to be willing to, hey, if you drafted a guy that doesn't fit, you have to be willing to move on, let them go somewhere else, and not hold on to something. I think a lot of teams sometimes people can be tend to hold on to a mistake and try to make it right. So I think in the last 2 draft classes we found some guys who fit us. We've also had to play with a lot of them early. I think a lot of times some guys don't fit because they go somewhere and they're waiting. They never get a chance to get on the field. Where the roster was last year, restarting, building the roster, we had to play all those guys. And so I'm happy with our draft class this year. I think those guys have all played really well in the preseason. And, we'll see. Like I said, things are still fluid, but as of right now, it looks like a lot of those guys are going to have a year 2, year 3 with us.
I know you didn't have Rodney with you. How good is it to have him back and on the field?
Yeah, he's not. He's still kind of working his way back. In terms of just being in the offense. But it's good to finally have Rodney healthy, and we'll see how he responds. But he's been in the offense. He was with us last year. He knows what to do offensively and defensively. So good to have that depth. Yeah, I think we think of Gio as a fullback. So I think we're kind of looking at like 4 tight ends and a fullback was sort of the mentality. We've been trying them out. Switched his number, tried him, move him to the fullback, and I just really like the versatility that he brings. Special teams player, fullback, can go out and run routes as a wideout. Not necessarily first man-to-man coverage, but he can run. He's fast, and we have different guys with different jobs. Tommy's a young guy coming along. Ian's a really good all-around tight end. Dan, Dan can do it all. He's a really great pass catcher, and Colin's the guy that kind of just does every job, and so we like that room. And like I said, I guess in our mind we're thinking, hey, Gio's a fullback, put him in that role and go from there.
I know he wore 87 in the game, but will that number switch be?
Yes, we'll switch him to a 40s number.
And Matt keeping JJ.
Yeah, JJ's since the very first day we started the season, he's responded. He's a professional. He's a tremendous guy, and happy to play with him again this year.